A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant ruling on Monday, the Supreme Court has sided with the Trump administration, allowing it to terminate Temporary Protected Status (TPS) for approximately 350,000 Venezuelans currently residing in the United States. This decision poses a serious risk of deportation for these individuals, who fled their home country amidst a humanitarian crisis. The ruling pauses a previous decision made by a federal court in San Francisco, which had extended TPS protections that were set to expire last month. Temporary Protected Status is a program that permits individuals from countries experiencing crises, such as war, civil unrest, or natural disasters, to live and work legally in the U.S. It was originally established to provide relief to individuals who cannot safely return to their home countries. However, the Supreme Court's order, which was issued with only one dissenting vote from Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, temporarily lifts this safeguard for Venezuelan nationals while litigation continues. Stuart Anderson, executive director at the National Foundation for American Policy, expressed concerns about the ruling, stating that the Trump administration ended TPS for Venezuelans without a proper analysis of the current conditions in Venezuela. He criticized the administration for failing to provide evidence to support claims that conditions had improved, suggesting that the decision could be unlawful and may lead to the deportation of hundreds of thousands of people without adherence to U.S. law. The implications of this ruling are profound. With the TPS protections lifted, around 350,000 Venezuelans could lose their legal status and face deportation, which has raised alarms among immigration advocacy groups. These organizations argue that many of these individuals were granted protections through a legal pathway and that the decision to terminate TPS is rooted in negative stereotypes and unfounded claims about Venezuelan migrants. The Supreme Court's decision comes amid ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela regarding deportation flights. In March, Venezuela agreed to some repatriations, indicating a complex relationship between the two nations. Alleged members of the Tren de Aragua gang, which originated in Venezuela, have already been sent to El Salvador's Secote prison, further complicating the narrative surrounding Venezuelan migrants. The Trump administration has been vocal about its stance on immigration, framing the termination of TPS as a necessary measure for national security. U.S. Solicitor General John Sauer argued that a federal judge's ruling that blocked the termination was an overreach, asserting that it imposed the judge's own foreign policy views onto the administration's immigration policy. Critics of the administration, including Judge Edward Chin, who initially ruled against the termination of TPS, have described the move as unprecedented and harmful. Chin warned that the termination would inflict irreparable harm on countless families and disrupt lives, livelihoods, and public health across the nation. He characterized the administration's actions as motivated by a form of animus that could lead to significant economic repercussions. In his dissent, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson stressed the importance of protecting vulnerable populations and highlighted the discretionary nature of TPS, which involves sensitive judgments regarding immigration policy. She expressed concern that the ruling undermines the protections that many Venezuelans rely on during a time of crisis. As the legal battle continues, the fate of these Venezuelan migrants hangs in the balance. Immigration advocacy groups are mobilizing to fight against the termination of TPS, arguing that it is not only a legal issue but also a moral one. The contributions of Venezuelan TPS holders to the U.S. economy cannot be overlooked. They are vital members of their communities, contributing to the workforce, economy, and cultural diversity. The Supreme Court's decision to allow the Trump administration to proceed with the termination of TPS for Venezuelans marks a pivotal moment in U.S. immigration policy, raising questions about the future of humanitarian protections for migrants fleeing dire circumstances. As the case moves forward, the implications for the affected individuals and their families remain uncertain, with many facing the prospect of deportation and separation from their communities. The ongoing debate over immigration policy continues to highlight the complexities and challenges faced by those seeking refuge and a better life in the United States. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.